Hello everyone, let's continue where we left, and we have already done up till question number 60. We will continue from question number 61. What question number 61 says? Consider the following statements with regard to Uber Rima fights. Uber Rima fights. I don't know what it is. The point we have, it falls within a class of cases which require utmost good faith. Second, every contract is a contract. Uber Rima fights. Third, contract of insurance is an example of Uber Rima fights. The right option is second, that is first and third. It falls within a class of cases which require utmost good faith. Second, contract of insurance is an example of Uber Rima fights. Okay, so the right option is second. See question number 62. A buyer letter offers to sell his car to B for rupees 75,000. At the same time, B buyer letter, which crosses the above letter while in post, offers to buy the car for 75,000. In this context, which one of the following proposition is correct? A buyer letter offers to sell his car to B for 75,000. At the same time, B buy a letter which crosses the above letter while in the post, offers to buy the car for 75,000. In this context, which one of the following proposition is correct? Question number 62 now. A contract is concluded when these two letters cross each other in post. A contract is concluded when letter posted by A reaches B. No contract is concluded at any time. No contract is concluded at any time because there is no acceptance. Acceptance is missing, and it is a initial requirement for forming a contract. So the right option will be third, that is no contract is concluded at any time, because there should be an offer, and there should be an acceptance of that offer, and then it will be an agreement enforced by law is contract. So we have not seen the scenario of acceptance, so that's why it's not a contract. And in this example, the contract never taken that place. Question number 63. What 63 says? X duly posts a letter of acceptance to Y. X duly posts a letter of acceptance to Y, but the letter is lost in transit by negligence of the post office. There is no contract concluded because the acceptance has not reached the proposer. ये आंसर आ गया ना पिछले वाले क्वेश्चन का. There is no contract concluded because the acceptance has not reached the proposer. Second, there is no contract concluded because the proposer had not received the letter. Third, the contract is concluded because the acceptance is complete from the date of dispatch, notwithstanding any delay or miscarriage in its arrival from causes not within the acceptor's control. Fourth, none of the above. The right answer is third. The contract is concluded because the acceptance is complete from the date of dispatch, notwithstanding any delay or miscarriage in its arrival from causes not within the acceptor's control. Question number 64. A, in an offer to sell a property, gave B the right to accept within 14 days. The next day at about 3:50 p.m., B sent by post his letter of acceptance, which was received by A's office at 8:30 p.m. But before that, at about 1 p.m., A had posted a letter revoking his offer. Next day about then wait. A, in an offer to sell a property, gave the right to accept within 14 days. The next day at 3:50 p.m., B sent by post his letter of acceptance, which was received by A's office at 8:30 p.m. But before that, at about 1 p.m., A had posted a letter revoking his offer. मतलब नेक्स्ट डे 3:50 में जब ये एक्सेप्टेंस सेंड कर रहा था उससे पहले ही पहुंचा हुआ था. He had posted a letter revoking his offer. The revocation and acceptance crossed in the course of post. We received the letter of revocation at 5:30 p.m. अच्छा. Revocation has been effectively made. Revocation has not been effectively made. It is a case of cross offer, so no contract can be said to be concluded. None of the above. The right option is second, that revocation has not been effectively made. Delay हो गया. Question number 65. Consideration is a motive for any promise, a price for any promise, only a moral obligation, something of value in the eye of law. The right option is third, that is 2 and 4. A price for any promise, something of value in the eye of law. The right option is third, second and fourth are correct. Question number 66. A daughter promises to give maintenance to her uncle in consideration of her mother making a gift of certain properties to her. The daughter pleads lack of consideration when the uncle seeks to enforce the contract. She says that the uncle is a stranger to the consideration and so he cannot enforce the contract. The daughter cannot succeed because according to the Indian Contract Act, consideration might move from any person. Cannot succeed because according to Indian Contract Act, consideration might move from any person. Question number 67. The mother owes 10,000 to her daughter, but the Limitation Act has barred this debt. The mother signs a written promise to pay rupees 3,000 on account of the debt. In this case, which one of the following is correct? The mother owes 10,000 to her daughter, but the Limitation Act has barred this debt. The mother signs a written promise to pay rupees 3,000 on account of the debt. In this case, which one of the following is correct? 67. The right answer is second, that there is no contract because the mother has promised to give only a part of the debt. There is no contract because the mother has promised to give only part of the debt. Question number 68. Which one of the following does not amount to fraud? Suggestion as a fact of that which is not true by one who does not believe it to be true. A representation made without knowing it to be false, honestly believing it to be true. Question number 69. A offers to sell B a painting which A knows is a copy of well-known masterpiece. B, thinking that the painting is an original one and that A must be unaware of this, accepts A's offer. B, thinking that the painting is an original one and that A must be unaware of this, accepts A's offer. The contract is a valid one because a unilateral mistake will not make a contract invalid. Contract is valid one because a unilateral mistake will not make a contract invalid. Question number 70. Which of the following is not an agreement in restraint of trade? In restraint of trade. Which of the following is not an agreement in restraint of trade? He sells the goodwill of his business with an agreement not to carry on a similar business within specified local limits so long as the buyer carries on a similar business. Second, he sells the goodwill of his business with an agreement not to carry on a similar business within India so long as the buyer carries on a similar business. Third, he sells the goodwill of his business with an agreement not to practice the same trade for 25 years. Fourth, a sale the goodwill of his business with an agreement not to engage in any business competing or liable to compete in any way with the business for the time being carried on by the buyer. 70th right option is option 4, that is first and third. And what first and third says, let me repeat it one more time. A sale the goodwill of his business with an agreement not to carry on a similar business within the special local limits so long as the buyer carries on a similar business. Third, he sell the goodwill of his business with an agreement not to practice the same trade for 25 years. Question number 71. A promises to paint a picture for B by a certain day at a certain price. A dies before the day. The agreement lapses for both the parties. Question number 72. A agreed to supply 1000 tons of iron at rupees 100 per ton to Y to be delivered not later than 31st January 2002. X also entered into contract with A for purchase of 1000 ton of iron at 80 rupees per ton, telling A clearly that the iron is needed before 31st January 2002 for supply to Y to fulfill the contract with Y. A fails to supply the iron to X, who in turn fail to supply the same to Y in an action by X against A. X can recover damages for the loss or profit he would have earned by a timely supply to Y, and also the damages which X might have paid to Y on account of breach of contract. Question number 73. Which one of the following statement is correct? A voidable contract is an agreement which is enforceable by law at option of one or more of the parties thereto, but not at option of the other or others. Question number 74. A landlord in good faith let out his premises to young widow on a rent of 1400 per month. Later on the came to know that the widow was using the premises to carry on prostitution. In a suit by landlord for recovery of rent, the court should not reject the claim, as the landlord had no knowledge of the purpose for which widow was to put use the let out premises. Question number 75. A owes B 3000. C pays to B rupees 2000 and B accepts it in satisfaction of his claim against A. This payment is a discharge of entire claim. Question number 76. If a notice at the entrance of an automatic car park is an offer, if a notice at the entrance of an automatic car park is an offer, it can be accepted by driving in. Question number 77. Consider the following statement. If a person who finds goods belonging to another takes them into his custody, then he, if a person who finds good belonging to another take them into his custody, then he is subject to the same responsibility as a bailee. Is subject to the same responsibility as as a bailee. Question number 78. The defendant husband agrees to pay rupees 400 per month to his plaintiff wife in consideration of her giving up prosecution against under section 494 IPC an offence compoundable with leave of the court. With the leave to the court, the offence was compounded and the husband was acquitted. In an action by the wife to enforce the agreement, the husband contends that the agreement is one to stifle prosecution and hence unlawful. In the light of the above, which one of the following is correct? The right option of question number 78 is the wife can enforce the agreement against the husband. Agreement is not one for stifling prosecution as the offence is one compoundable with the permission of the court and has been so compounded. Question number 79. J, a usual customer of B, J, a usual customer of B, orders certain goods on the day on which B transfer his business to the plaintiff. The plaintiff accepts that order and supplies the good. Thereupon, J refuses to pay, alleging that he has intended to contract only with B since he is having set off against him. Question number 79. Has no liability to pay the price because he has never intended to contract with the plaintiff. He has no liability to pay the price because he has never intended to contract with the plaintiff. Question number 80. A, B, and C jointly promise to pay rupees 3,000 to P. P files a suit to recover the amount. Which one of the following is correct? For question number 80. Since A, B, and C are joint promisors, P can recover the amount from any of them. Question number 81. Five persons went to the house of Z armed with clubs to beat Z. Among these, one A was carrying a pistol, concealing it underneath his clothes. During beating, A fired a shot resulting in Z's death. 81. Only A will be liable for causing death. Question number 82. Which one of the following is not correct in case of defense of intoxication? Defense of intoxication is available both in case of involuntary and voluntary intoxication. Question number 83. A. A. A is in the house which is on fire with Z, a child. People below hold out a blanket. E drops the child in good faith, intending the child's benefit, but the child is killed by the fall. A has committed 4, that is no offense because he does not had malafide intention, he had bona fide intention, and that's why 83 का है fourth ना. Yes. 84. A armed with a sword तलवार is at a great distance from B. A threatened to kill B. B shot at A and kill him. 84. B could not plead private defense as it cannot be said that he has a present and reasonable apprehension of being attacked by A. Question number 85. A instigates his 60-year-old daughter. A instigates his 66 sorry A instigates his 6-year-old daughter B to take away from C a purse containing rupees 1500. In this case, which one of the following statements is correct? B does not commit any offense, but A commit abatement of theft. Question number 86. A, B, and C decide amongst themselves to pursue D to steal jewelry from the house of M, and they accordingly do so. D readily agrees and sets out towards M's house in order to steal jewelry. The right option is A, B, C, and D are liable for criminal conspiracy. Question number 87. A person is said to give false evidence as he, being bound by law to make a declaration upon any subject, makes any statement which is false. Question number 88. A tries to pickpocket B. B has a loaded pistol in his pocket. A's hand touches the pistol and triggers it, resulting in the death of B. A is guilty only of pickpocketing. 88. मुझे इसका ये सही आंसर नहीं लग रहा है, बट according to the answer key, this is the right answer. I don't know how. Is guilty only of pickpocketing. सेंस ही नहीं बना रहा है. अगर कोई मरा है तो पिक पॉकेटिंग क्यों? कल्पेबल होमिसाइड क्यों नहीं? कल्पेबल होमिसाइड नॉट अमाउंटिंग टू मर्डर, वो ऑप्शन क्यों नहीं है इसमें? इज गिल्टी ऑफ ग्रीवियस हर्ट, वो बचा ही नहीं, तो ये तो है नहीं, ये ऑप्शन है ही नहीं. ए इज गिल्टी ऑफ बीज मर्डर, नॉट मर्डर क्योंकि प्लान नहीं था, तो ये भी नहीं है. ए इज गिल्टी ऑफ कल्पेबल होमिसाइड बाय नेग्लिजेंस. कल्पेबल होमिसाइड नॉट अमाउंटिंग टू मर्डर क्यों नहीं है? इनमें से ये तीन तो डेफिनेटली नहीं है, तो फिर ये भी नहीं बनता है वैसे. ओनली ऑफ पिक पॉकेटिंग, बट व्हाट टू डू, ऑप्शन ही चार है. क्वेश्चन नंबर 89. अगर इन चारों में से लगाना है तो ऑफकोर्स तो नहीं बोलूंगा, इन चारों में से लगाना है तो 89. A was relieved of his wristwatch, worth 100 rupees by B in a running train. When the train was about to stop at a railway station, A raised an alarm. At this point of time, C pushed A, as a result of which A fell down and sustained injuries. This was done by C to enable B to carry the stolen watch. C has committed the offense of robbery. Okay, robbery. और 5 जने मिलके करें तो डेकोइटी. Question number 90. This is very lengthy question paper. Feeling so tired while solving this question paper. Still have to do 10 more question. X applied for the post of lecturer in Delhi University and submitted his application along with the degree of PhD. Interview call was issued to X and 2nd Feb 1992. Was the date fixed for the interview of X? But on 10th January 1992, the university came to know that the copy of degree attached with the application was bogus and cancelled the interview. X is guilty of attempt to cheat. X is guilty of attempt to cheat. Question number 91. In which of the following cases the offence of housebreaking is not committed? A commits house trespass by entering Z's house through the door, having lifted a latch by putting a wire through a hole in the door. ये तो है house breaking. A finds the key of Z's house door which Z had lost and commits house trespass by entering Z's house through that key. Z, the doorkeeper of Y, is standing in Y's doorway. A commits house trespass by entering the house, having deterred Z from opposing him by threatening him to beat him, where a hole was made by burglars, where a hole was made by burglars. burglars in the wall of a house, but their way was blocked by beams on the other side, where a hole was made by a burglars in the wall of a house, but their way was blocked by beams on the other side. इन चारों में से ये है राइट ऑप्शन, जो कि नहीं है हाउस ब्रेकिंग, क्योंकि कर ही नहीं पाया वो। क्वेश्चन नंबर 92, 2 more pages, come on. Question number 92, a person commits adultery if he has sexual intercourse with a person who is and whom he knows or has reason to believe to be the wife of another person without the consent or connivance of that man, such sexual intercourse not amounting to rape. So this will be the scenario of adultery. Right option is first. Question number 93. State in which of the following cases P is guilty of attempting to commit the offense. P shoots at Q, whose back is toward him. The attempt fails as Q is beyond the range of the gun. Commit. Its right option is second. Question number 94. Six persons assembled on the platform of Mumbai railway station and started fighting with each other. The passengers present at the railway station got annoyed and felt disturbed. The public reported the matter to the police. These six persons are guilty of affray. Question number 95. X, a person above the age of 18 years, asks Y to shoot him to death as X is suffering from incurable disease. Y is the domestic servant of X. As a loyal servant, Y shoots X to death. Y's act is culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Question number 796. A is a good swimmer. He sees B drowning, but does not save him. B is drawn. A has committed no offense. Question number 97. A, a foreigner stabbed B, another foreigner in a foreign way. A foreigner stabbed B, another foreigner in a foreign vessel on the high seas. Both A and B were brought to Bombay for treatment where B died. A is also available in Bombay. Which one of the following proposition is correct in respect of applicability of Indian Penal Code to the trial of A? As both the deceased and the accused belong to foreign countries and the occurrence of offence has taken place on the high seas, IPC is not applicable to A, and hence he cannot be prosecuted in India. So the right option is first. Question number 98. Assertion and reason. There is no liability for an attempt to commit an impossible theft. There is no liability for an attempt to commit an impossible theft. Wait a minute for. Wait a minute. Give me a minute. Let's continue where we left. We were on question number 98. We were on question number 98. Let me recall it one more time. There is no liability for an attempt to commit an impossible theft. There is no liability for an attempt to commit an impossible theft. No criminal liability can be incurred under section 511 of Indian Penal Code for attempt to be an act which if done will not be an offense. A is false but R is true. Right option is second. Question number 99. A is invited by B for a cup of tea while B is in the kitchen preparing tea. A finds a gold ring on the table. He picks it up and places it somewhere in the room with the intention of dishonestly taking it away. Some time later, he commits 99. Theft. Question number 100. X and Y swimming in the sea after a shipwreck got hold of plank. The plank was not large enough to support both. X, with no other option, pushed Y, who was drowned. X has committed murder. Murder. X and Y is sea after signaling the plank was not large enough to support both. X, with no other option, Y pushed. The offense of causing death by negligence, no offense. इसका मुझे आई एम नॉट श्योर एट ऑल मर्डर कैसे, जब वो दोनों ही डूब सकते हैं और कोई भी ऑप्शन नहीं बचा है तो फॉर देयर सर्वाइवल दे विल डू दैट, दे कांट लेट देमसेल्फ डाई। ठीक है, क्योंकि सुसाइड करना भी तो एक ऑफेंस है, तो सुसाइड भी नहीं कर सकता, वो भी ऑफेंस है, और वो अगर उसको पुश करता है तो वो भी ऑफेंस हो गया। तो दोनों ही गलत है, दोनों में से कोई एक होना चाहिए। I don't think so. Murder. It can be culpable homicide, not amounting to murder. Okay, murder. I will not go with murder. No. It's in answer key. It's the right option is murder, but I am not satisfied with. So I will go with the first. See question number 101. That no person accused of an offense shall be compelled to be a witness against himself is an that no person accused of an offense shall be compelled to be a witness against himself is a or an fundamental right. Wait, I have to close this video here only. We will continue in our next part. Up till then, have a good time. Bye bye.